Okay, I'm doing this on my phone. I'm going to get some little microphones that clip onto your shirt so that the sound will be a little bit better, but here we go. Uh, Hold your phone horizontally or else it'll look like a TikTok, and I'll tell the Dynamite story. I was at Goddard College, and there was a guy there that said, "Hey, you want to set off some dynamite?" And I said, "Huh?" I said, "Where do you get dynamite?" He said, "Down in Barry at Kendall Lawson's Fine Furniture Store. You just call him up the day before, tell him how much you want and how many blasting caps, and you go down and get it." I said, "Cool, all right. You know how to do this, right?" And he said, "Sure." So we put a stick of dynamite in the swamp and blew mud all over the campus. But anyway, I was building a cabin up in East Calais, and of course we needed water. So he said, "I'll show you how to dig a well with dynamite." He dug a little hole and put a stick of dynamite in there, and we went and hid, and kaboom! And there was dirt all over the place, but it was a big hole. And then we dug another hole in the bottom of that hole and put another stick of dynamite down. Kaboom! Now the hole's getting pretty deep, and we did that one more time, and then we had water. An easy way to dig a well. And then, of course, when I was building the house in Guilford, the first house in 1971 or 2, and 70, I think that the license requirements started in 1972, and you had to get a license to work with dynamite. So I said, "How do you get that?" And they sent me this little mimeograph sheet, and you just fill it out and send it in, and then you get a dynamite license. So that was pretty cool. Now, we did a lot of dynamiting. I had to blast through lead down 6 feet through ledge to make a big basement for that house. And we used up many cases of dynamite. And I didn't know about the delay on the blasting caps. There's a big book called The Blaster's Handbook, and I read some of that, and it looked pretty straightforward. But the way we were setting off the dynamite is the rocks went straight up, and then they came straight back down again. The guys that know what they're doing can make all the rocks fly to one side. So I would lie underneath the payloader to set off the dynamite, so when the stuff came back down, it wouldn't get me. And then I was more casual, and I would lie underneath the bulldozer and set it off. And finally, we're almost done with the blasting, and I stood underneath a big pine tree, and a rock about the size of a football came down through that pine tree and landed next to my foot. And I counted up my fingers and my toes, and I said, "I'm ahead of the game right now. There's going to be water in the basement, but you know what? I'm not setting off any more dynamite." And so then I let my license lapse. And then, of course, in 2000 and something or other, it was time to build another house. So now it was hard to get a dynamite license because, of course, people were blowing things up that they shouldn't. So it was very hard to get the dynamite license. But I found a guy that had his dynamite license from way back when. He just kept renewing it, paying his $2 every year, and keeping the license up. So he was my blaster, and he was the guy that bought the dynamite. And although nobody would sell us dynamite twice, he was kind of an eccentric character. And but anyway, so we did our dynamiting. Nobody got hurt, and that's the dynamite story.